Hey, what's up folks? Zarek here. I'm making this video to talk about 3 of the machines that I've been using in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom to get around. If you're like me, then you started off the game, you were really excited to see the different things that you could do, the things that have changed since Breath of the Wild, and the different contraptions that we could make to get around. Now, if you see in the video here, the first thing I did, the first flying vehicle I ever saw was the wing, right? Just a singular wing that Link can get on here. It doesn't really get you around too quickly. It doesn't really move too fast, doesn't really do what you want it to do. You can get it to go in a different direction, but it's pretty useless for most of the game. And so we've come up with some different ways to get around. They're pretty cheap to make, they're pretty easy to make. So let's talk about what those are right now. The first machine we're going to talk about here is the air bike. So it's really simple to make. We have 2 fans and a control stick. Here you can see Link flying around on the air bike. It gets around pretty good. It's easy to control. You can move around. Very good for the different types of places in the game. It's good for the airspace. It's good for the underground. It's all around a good way to get around. If you have the combine ability, I'm not going to talk about that too much here. I don't want to spoil anything, but suffice to say, if you get the combine ability, this is a pretty simple machine to put together. Again, it is probably the best way in my mind to get around on horizontal spaces. So that's getting from point A to point B, where you can fly around things. It's maybe not the best thing in the world for going vertically up and down, but it will definitely get you where you need to go. So in order to build this, we need 2 fans and a control stick. It's not that difficult. All you're going to want to do is get the angles right, because if you don't get the angles right, it's not going to fly correctly. So the first step is to connect the control stick to the first fan. You can see here I'm doing it. You want to angle the control stick down a little bit, or tilt it back, get it connected there. And then one of the mistakes I see a lot of folks who try to do this kind of thing is they try to connect the back fan up to the control stick here, and you'll see what's the problem with that. The back fan gets a bit too bunched up. Link can't really stand on it. So what we want to do is pick the first fan up and then just elevate it so that you can connect the back part. There you go. So this bike will work from there. You can just pick it up and go. It lands not too bad, and again, if you're using the control stick and you land the device, that will absorb all of your fall damage, so you don't have to worry about fall damage at that point. Like I said, probably the best mobility machine in the game, definitely worth a try. Now, if you want to go up, right? If you want to go vertically in the game, if you need to get up high, there is another device that I have used quite a lot of times already in Tears of the Kingdom. It also makes use of the sled, which is an otherwise useless device, and this is just the sled balloon. So we're going to take a fire emitter here, the torch emitter, connect it to the balloon. You've probably seen that they show that off pretty early in the game. Connect it to our sled so we have a bit of a platform, and get going. I use the sleds for this. I like to use the lesser used materials for things like platforms to stand on, because I'm never going to use a sled to slide down a mountain. There's not really good use for it. It's mostly used as a platform to build stuff off of, and this is a great way to get some elevation in the game that's pretty cheap. So you can see I'm headed up here. It'll get me pretty high pretty quickly. And the good thing about it is that you can just stand on it and look around, right? So it's going to go straight up. You don't have to control it while it's working. You can do your best to throw things off of it. If you're on the underground, you can throw the Bright Bloom seeds or whatever it is to get some sight going, get some light underground. And it only costs 9 Zonite to build from scratch if you don't have the materials on you with the Ultra Hand, the special combine. The last device that we want to talk about really quick is just the rocket sled. So again, this is cheap. We're using the sled, which you don't use for anything else. Just attach a rocket on an angle to it and gets a boost. This will get you over a lot of terrain that you just want to skip. If you wanted to get by something, you don't want to worry about it. The rocket sled will get you right past. Really good mobility. Now, the last thing I want to mention before we move on, after our three vehicles, is whenever you see these big gumball machines, make sure that you go ahead and buy stuff from them. When you buy stuff from them, it'll keep record of what you're able to buy from those things, and you can see it on the map, so you can quickly warp near them and go buy stuff from them. It's a good opportunity to collect materials throughout the game, and you're going to need it if you're going to build these machines that I've talked about today or any other fun ones.